Ano ai me ke aloha. It is such a privilege and an honor to be with you here today, and in such a beautiful setting. But before I get to the work at hand that I want to share with you as the new Pouhana at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, if you would indulge me for just a little bit, I wanted to provide a ho'okupu to the island of Maui and her people, to the ohana of Lahaina, and to my ohana, who also calls Lahaina home. If I could get the first slide, please. So in presenting my ho'okupu to all of you, I wanted to share a little bit about who I am and who I come from. This is a picture of my tutu, Rebecca Kauhailikua Opunui. And she was born under a hula kapu. And she was taught the hula by her father, Likua Nui. And she eventually became a court dancer for Kalakaua. As she served our kingdom and our monarchy, she served for many years. And after she left, she became a Christian minister in Lahaina. And it was during this time when she was a minister that a young girl came to her and said, "Kumu, will you please teach me the hula?" And my tutu said, "No, I don't dance anymore. I'm a minister now." And this very tenacious and persistent young girl said, "No, please teach me the hula." And they had this ongoing conversation around 3 times. And it was the last conversation that this young girl had with my tutu. And she said, "Please teach me. If you don't teach me your ike about the hula, it will die with you." And that convinced my tutu to teach her. This young girl, this persistent young girl, is Emma Farden. And so from that day on, a Maui hula legacy was born. And to help me to present this ho'okupu, I am reuniting our Opunui and our Farden and Sharp ohana to provide a mele and a hula that is attributed to my tutu, Kananaka. So if you're from Lahaina, you know this is a quintessential Lahaina song. And so it is with our aloha from our ohana to you. I'd like to present to you Napua o Kapi'olani Hula Studio with Kumu Holo Aomoku Kalamai Reilar, and Nohealani, her daughter, and Namahina, her granddaughter.
Ai, Kananaka, pa. O ka pāmai. O ka pāmai a ka maa, hali hali mai ana la I ke ala o namna o ka lipo, ahana oe a ka nipo no, ahana oe a ka nipo, nani vale ia pu e one, I kana luhe e mai a o Kananaka, kahia makoa e he e ai, a ika ehu o ke kai, a ika ehu o ke kai o ka mahina, o ka mahina hiki alo alo, ho'ola I ana la ina pali, o hina vehi I ke o naun. Asune ma ele se sino, asune ma ele se sino, hei no Kananaka.
Mahalo. Thank you for providing me an opportunity to provide that gift from my ohana to you. What a beautiful way to start as Pouhana of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs in rooting myself back to where my ohana is from And I'm so grateful to Kuhio for moving the convention here, because when he asked me to come and speak and that he was going to introduce me, I said, oh, my ohana is from Maui. It couldn't have been more perfect. So I'm so grateful. So now I want to share with you some of the top priorities that I have as Pouhana. So as you know, and I know many of you were in the first day when our chair, Hulu Lindsay, shared about all of the work that the Office of Hawaiian Affairs has committed to in terms of the recovery and rebuilding efforts here in Maui. And so I'm not going to get into the details. I don't want to repeat what she said, but I do want to reiterate our commitment from OHA for the $5 million that will be put towards our Native Hawaiian people. And please be assured that I will be at the table with the Office of Recovery, with the city and county, ensuring that our Kanaka Oiwi voices, it's our ideas, how we see our community being rebuilt, I will ensure that that is being heard, being implemented, and carried out. Another top priority for me is ho'olulahui aloha, to raise a beloved nation. And the way that the Office of Hawaiian Affairs sees this is through our strategic plan, Mana'i Mauliola, from strength to wellness. And it's a heavy lift. It's an aspirational plan. And it's 15 years long, and we are in year 3. So as I come in as Pouhana, one of my major roles is to ensure that this strategic plan gets implemented and implemented well. And what that will look like is to improve the well-being of Native Hawaiians. And we look to do that in 4 very specific ways: through education, health outcomes, quality housing, and economic stability. So when I speak with the trustees and I get their sense of how they want to implement these really big aspirational areas, the things that we talk about is we need to not only focus on statewide impact, but we also have to take into account our island complexities. Every island is different, so the way that we approach is not going to be the same. How we serve our beneficiaries on Molokai will not be the same as we do on Oahu, and we're cognizant of that. We also talk about balancing the risk. So some of the things that when we think about our strategies and how we want to roll out our tactics, our trustees have to really balance, do we put big bets or do we do these smaller, incremental, steady types of solutions? And please know that our trustees, being bold and as courageous as they are, they're willing to step forward and put the big bets, which I'm very excited about. We also have to be very good stewards of our resources. We are entrusted with the public land trust revenues. And please know that the team at OHA, we take that job, that fiduciary responsibility, very seriously. So as we think about how we spend the resources, we also want to be very mindful about how we are investing so that we're always growing the corpus and ensuring that we always have funds to do the work at hand. And the other thing that is really important for me as the new Pouhana is to create a line of sight for all of you. I want you to feel comfortable and confident that how OHA is going forward with the work in this strategic plan, that you know what the work is, you know how the funds are being spent, and you know the outcomes that we are getting for those resources being spent. So whose kuleana is this, other than mine as Pouhana? It's our trustees, yes, but it's also going to take a lot of partnership and collaboration to do this lift. There's so much water to carry. To transform our communities, to make them thriving, to better the conditions of our people. So I'm going to have to work across government, whether it's federal, state, and county, and working with our nonprofit organizations, working with our Native Hawaiian organizations, and everybody in between. How are we going to resource this? Some of our core competencies at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs is advocacy, research, community programs, and asset management. But we are also talking about the opportunity of potentially doing our own direct service as we curate solutions that may not necessarily already exist within OHA. And then, how long is this going to take? As I mentioned, it's a 15-year plan. But what we're going to do is we're going to break it up into phases so that we can check our progress along the way. We don't want to wait till the 15th year to see how we've done. So we want to make sure that we have check-in points. So if we need to pivot and we need to find better solutions, different solutions, or if we need to double down on some things, that we can do that. And then lastly, where is this going to happen? And I think this is a really important point to make to all of you. As we understand now that we have more Native Hawaiians on the continent than we do here in Hawaii, and that's heartbreaking. But please know that the Office of Hawaiian Affairs has not forgotten about our Kanaka iwi on the continent. Our focus will be here in Hawaii, in our Pai'aina, to ensure that we better the conditions, not only so our ohana that are currently here stay here for generations, but can bring our ohana back to a place that they can proudly call home once again. So I'm going to end my keynote by sharing a little bit of a conversation that I had with Kuhio when he invited me to come and speak today. He is such a gracious leader. He is a lahui warrior and has such a servant's heart. And he called me and congratulated me and gave me encouraging words, really uplifting me in this new large kuleana. And he said, "Stacy, I'm praying for you." And I said, "Mahalo, Kuhio, I'm going to need that for sure." And I received that from you. And we ended our conversation, and I thought a lot about what we had talked about. And I texted him the next morning, and I said, "Kuhio, would you pray for me when I come and do my keynote? Would you pray for me and the Office of Hawaiian Affairs? Would you pray for the people of Maui, for our Native Hawaiian organizations, for unity, for protection, for healing?" And he instantly texted me back and said, "Of course." So at this time, I'm going to ask Kuhio and his team if he would join me to pule over myself and the office and all of you.
Come. Okay, olu, please join me. Kuilu nakako. Before I offer the pule, I would like to say that it is a great honor to be able to offer pule for you. And perhaps this voice of prayer is not a voice that's been ordained in a particular church or a particular denomination, although I have my own halepule, but I'm not one of the ones that holds that. But what I do have is the ability to ask all of you to join me. And in that spirit of giving our aloha, let us get behind a new leader, and let us put all of our aloha and lift it up. In whatever way you lift up your voice, your heart, and your spirit in pule, please join me now as we ask for strength, courage, fortitude. For all of us know that the unspoken elephant in the room is that OHA has challenges and has experienced them for many years. Let's see what we can all do in this room to change that for the betterment of our people. Eo. Pole kako I kia kua. Kia kua manaloa I loko kalani. Kia kua ko mako makua loko mai kai. E no mako a pauloa e kulo nei ko mako po'o. Me ka haa I mo'o e kia kua. Me ko mako haawi ana I ka leo mahalo. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo anui a oe kia kua. No keia, he ala ka I hou. Nona ka inoa o Stacy and ki aloha lani Ferreira. E olu mai oe kia kua. I haliu mai no oe, a ilono no oe I nei leo, e hea nei no ia oe I keia hola. Kau mai ko lima aloha maluna o ki aloha lani kia kua. Nao no e ho'opo mai ka ia, nao no e ho'o I ka mai ia. Olu mai e kia kua. Ku no oe makona au. Kona mau au e lua, mahope a mamua, mana au a pau, maluna malalo, lilo no oe ke kahua, nana no e ho okupaa, lilo no oe e kia kua I kona ko'o, nana no e noke aku maki alahele, nana no e nau e aku, no ka pono o ko kākou la hui aloha. Olu mai oe e kia kua e kiai, alakai, malama mai kai mai a ki aloha lani. Nana no e hele I mua, nau e I mua, kau koe no I mua ma ke ala hele o ka pono me ka mai kai, I maluhia hou mai ai, a I pono hou mai ai, ko kākou pai aina aloha. E olu mai oe e kia kua. E ho ka awale kona ala hele na ano po e mea like ole e ala ilai nei no kona ala hele. Nao no e kia kua e ki paku aku na ano po e mea kupono ole a palekana no I aia na po e mea ino na po e ho haumia na po e mea ho eha na ano po e mea lapo ole like ole a pauloa e kia kua hoi pauloa nao no e kia kua e ho malamlama mai ko na ale hele. Olu e ia no mako e ku I kahi nei I ke ia la. I kukulu kumohana a I noi a o e kia kua nini mai kou aloha maluna o ke aloha lani nao no e ho ike ai ho vehe. I ke alehele I muona no kākoa pau. Hele no kākou I mua me ko mako mahalo me ko mako mili lani ho'onani aki a oe. Hui kala mai no, nā lawe hala ana, nā hema me nā he wāpau o ke ia noho ana. E ia no e kia kua ko mako leo e hāpai nei. Me ka puana hou I ia inoa no ke ia lakai o Stacy Ann, ki aloha lani Ferreira I ke ia la, mako e hāpai nei, a e kaina nei I kou inoa mana. Mahalo anui ia o e kia kua no ke ia manawa pokole a mako, e launa nei, a e no mako e hāpai nei I ko mako leo pule, me ka pule ane ka pule pualu, pule laka I ka haku, makaukau a pule. E ko mako makua I loko kalani, e ho ano ia kou inoa, e ki mai kou au puni, e malama ia ko make makahonua nei, e like mei e malama ia makalani la. E haawi mai a mako I ke ia la, I aina mako no nei ia la. E kala mai ho ia mako I ka mako lawe hala ana, me mako e kala nei ka poe I lawe hala I ka mako. Mai ho oku o ia mako I ka ho wale ia mai, e ho opakele no na ia mako I ka ino no ka mea, o ke au puni, a me ka mana, a me ka honani ia, a maulo aku, a mene. Ano laila e kia kua, e no hou no mākou e hāpai nei, kai no ke aloha lani, no kona alaka I ana, o oia ka Pouhana, o ke ena malama kule ana o na Hawai'i. I mua e kia kua, ko mākou leo pule ke ia, ia oe maloko kai no ka makua, a me ke keiki, a me ka uhane he molele, Amen. O nani kama koa mau, ke keiki me ka ohane no, ke aku a mau o mai ka ipu. Ko ke iau, ko ke Amen, amen, amen. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo.